Okay, so on this question, they're asking us to graph the system on your own graph paper, first decide, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so basically they've graphed, they got 4 options for the graphing, and then down here, down below on the bottom, they want us to figure out, which shading answer it is. Okay, let me show you how you handle this. So first off, you've got to figure out what's going on with the lines. First, and you got to figure out which line is which line. So how about this one right here? Y, and then it's got less than x plus 1. Is that like the line, the blue line on the top, whether it's dotted or solid? Is it the blue line on the top, or is it the red line that's on the bottom? How do you know? Well, look at that one. If you were to graph that thing, so if somebody says, hey, I want you to go ahead and graph that, where would you start? You would start with the number off to the right, huh? And that would be up 1 in the middle, wouldn't it? So it's the blue line. See how it's the blue line that's up 1, up 1, up 1, up 1 in the middle. And then the other one has got to be the red line. Why? Because where would you start for that one? You would start right here. Remember, the number off to the right's where you start. -2, down 2 in the middle. So you'd start it down 2 in the middle. That'd be right here, right here. See how the red line's always down 2 in the middle? So the second one's the red line. All right, so let's get that straight. First off, which line is which line? Because they can switch that up. It doesn't have to be blue top, red bottom. It can be vice versa. It's just, you just have to tell by the starting point, right? The number off to the right tells you where the line starts. So the one that starts at up 1 is the blue line. The one that starts at down 2 is always the red line on all the graphs. Okay, so how do we know which graph is right? Well, the blue one has got no solid bar, so that's going to be dotted. Dotted on the blue, solid on the red, right? Because the red has the solid bar, so it's going to be a solid line. And the blue does not have a solid bar, so it's not a solid line, it's dotted. So blue dotted, red solid. Which one is blue dotted, red solid? That's going to be here, huh? This is dotted blue, dotted on the blue, dotted on the blue, solid on the red. It's this one. Okay, so then the answer to this question is either going to be 13, 14, 15, or 16, right down below where they want us to say it. Now, how do we know which is which? Well, now we look at the shading. What does it say for the blue line? It says less, right? Y is less. Y is on the small, so right, the greater than, less than symbol, right? When I write Y like that, this is less. Over here would be more, right? The narrow side of the symbol is where things are smaller. The wide side of the symbol is where things are bigger. And so it says Y is less. So shade below. So that would be shading below. Let me go over and do that real quick. So that'd be shading below the blue line. See how I figured that out? Y less. Shade below the blue line, Y less. Now, what about the red? It says Y greater than or equal, Y greater. So that is shade above. Greater things are above, right? Mm-hmm. Y is on the wide, for the red one, Y is on the wide side of the symbol, the greater. So shade above the red line. So shade above the red line and below the blue line. So where do the two shadings overlap? Where's our overall answer? Right here at 14. So you come down here and you'd say, okay, I'm going to choose answer. Whoops. My iPad is not letting me do anything. Okay. All right. Come down here and choose box 14. Because that's where it is. So again, how did we figure this out? I first figured out which of these equations was the red and which was the blue by the starting dot off to the right. The one that starts at up 1 is the blue. The one that starts at down 2 is the red. And then I looked at the solid line, dotted line. I said, oh, the blue is dotted, no solid bar, no solid line. And the red is solid. So that was this one, right? The red is solid, the blue is dotted. So then I said, okay, so it's down here. Now, which of these 4 is it? I had to look at the shading. Y less for the blue is under the blue, And y greater for the red is above the red. So above the red, below the blue, that overlaps in this region, which is region 14. So there we go. That's how we do that.